What's up everybody, Slayer Corpse here, and welcome back to Fallout is Better Than You Think. In the last episode, we arrived at a crummy city called Junktown, and while we were there, we learned about an underground cannibalism ring, teamed up with a fat bastard named Gizmo, we wreaked havoc all over the town, took out the town's Giga Chad, and redeemed ourselves by ridding the town of the scum that resided there. And in this episode, we're gonna make our way to the next point of interest, the hub. Maybe. 2 days into our travels, we got stopped by a peasant and some Brahmins who offered us nothing, so we went ahead and continued on, and just after one more day, we arrived at the hub. We enter the hub and we see a group of caravanners at the entrance of the city, but they seem to be packing it up for the night, so we decided to wait until morning to talk to any of the townspeople. The next day, we see a caravaner named Luke, and he seemed friendly enough, so we went ahead and said hello. He welcomes us and lets us know that the hub is the center trading post for the wastes. That's cool and all, but let's not forget why we're here in the first place, so we ask him if he knows anything about a water chip. Apparently he hasn't heard of one of those, so he points us to the general store saying that they might know something. After talking to Luke, we enter this building and meet someone named Dan the Brahmin Man. He tells us that he provides services for the passing caravans by fixing up their wagons and tending to their Brahmin. And he also lets us know that the Big Three deals with him exclusively. When asking him who the Big Three were, he asks if we've been locked up in a cave our whole life, and says that they are the largest merchants in the world, sort of. When asking about job openings, he says he doesn't have anything, but we should check in with the Big Three. We still have no idea who they are specifically, and it seems we're gonna have to venture further to find out who the Big Three are. We move south a little bit and run into one of the hub officers named Deputy Fry. He greets us and asks us if we came with one of the caravan groups, which I say no. He's surprised that we made it here because there's been some real danger lurking in the wastes as some caravans have been going missing recently. He also tells us to stay away from a place called the Maltese Falcon, ran by a crooked man named Decker. I didn't take to the warnings about Gizmo and Junktown seriously, so I'll be a little bit more cautious this time if we decide to visit this Decker. We ask him about the missing caravans and he lets us know that a group called the Fargo Traders are offering a reward for any information. And before we head out, we ask him if he's heard of a water chip, in which he says no, but he says that I should go talk to the water merchants. Wait. Water merchants? Finally! After all this traveling, we have gained a new lead on where to find a working water chip. So yeah, he says we should go talk to them as they deal with all things water, and before entering the main hub of the hub, we run into a guy named Gunter and ask him where we can get some weaponry. He lets us know that a woman named Beth sells weapons, and that someone in Old Town sells weapons that have a little more punch to them. After chatting around and gaining some pretty useful information, we make our way down south to the town's merchant market. We enter the merchant market and see a ton of buildings to explore. We take a quick gander around the map and see places like the Crimson Caravan, the Maltese Falcon, the General Store, a building with the sign FLC, a merchant stand called Bob's Iguana Bits, a gun store, the Hub's police station, and the Fargo Traders. We decide to look for some work, so we headed into the Crimson Caravan building, where Ian lets us know he's done some work for them in the past, and they do a lot of high-risk jobs. We see a man named Dimitri and ask if they are hiring. He says we look perfect for the job and asks if we like work that involves bullets flying everywhere, whipping by your head, blowing your enemy in two, and seeing the fear in their eyes. Well, that sounds like fun, and the pay is 600 hub bucks each way. We accept the job, and he tells us to talk to Carrie in the next room. So we head over there and talk to her. She claims we have balls of steel for taking up the job, and she says they head out twice a month on the 3rd and the 17th to spots like the Brotherhood of Steel, Junktown, Necropolis, and the Boneyard. I check the date, and we have 6 days until their next journey, so we'll just keep that in mind as we head around and see what else is going on here. Since we got a bunch of loot in Junktown, I headed over to the general store to see what we could trade. Before trading, I used the Guns and Bullets magazine that increased our gun skills, and after that, I ended up trading a flare, 2 pistols, a knife, and 2 leather armor for 10 stim packs, a rope just in case, and 232 caps. After trading, we head down south and a shifty guy waves us over. He asks us what we're doing in the hub, and for whatever reason I didn't take kindly to him, so after being rude, he doesn't want to talk to us anymore and walks away. Apparently this guy can can help us get some chems, which I know we'll need some Rad-X for a later area, so that sucks, but hopefully we'll be able to find some on our own. After pinging that dude's Cheerios, we walk past the Maltese Falcon and head into the building with the FLC sign, which stands for Friendly Lending Company. We talk to a guy named Lorenzo and he tells us their loan policies. We don't really care much about that, so we ask if he has any info on what's going on in the town, but he tells us that he doesn't do rumors. So that's it for that place. We decided to head to the food stand, but while heading down there we ran into a guy who was having a pretty bad day. We offer to help him, but it appears that we are too inexperienced to help him out. So the Crimson Caravan says I have balls of steel for wanting to join them, but this putz won't take my help. Whatever. Finally, we come across Bob's Iguana Bits. Just a reminder that we found out that this guy's been buying human meat from Doc Morbid back in Junktown. He welcomes us to the stand, and after gaining some useless info, we confront him about what we know. He tells us to keep it down, and we threaten him, saying that our silence is expensive. I didn't want to push it with my luck, so I just told him that I wanted 100 caps every 5 days, in which he agrees. So cool, now we have a little bit of weekly income coming our way. Before checking out the other places, I felt compelled to check out the other areas of the hub. We headed southeast and see a building that has a radioactive symbol on a flag outside of it, and the water merchants. Yahoo! Now I know, that's our main lead, but before talking to them, I still wanted to look around. It's not like the water in our vault is going anywhere or anything. So then we head back up and then go east to this rundown area of the hub. We see a bunch of buildings, but no signage on them, so we'll just have to make our way around to see what's going on over here. We head into this first building and it's just some tweaker enjoying the space, so we make our way towards the building next to it, and Ian recognizes it as Jake's Weapons. Jake, of course, is a weapons dealer, but while looking through his shop, we notice some nice metal armor that I needed to get my hands on. I also eyed out an expensive shotgun and some combat armor that was way out of our price range, but the metal armor was only 5,000 caps. So we sold a bunch of weapons and ammo that we had along with some caps to get it. And just like that, boom! Fit upgrade. We tell him that his wares are good, but we still want something that packs a bit more punch. He refers us to the gun runners over at the Boneyard and claims that the Brotherhood of Steel has some powerful weaponry. So after getting a new suit of armor, we head into this building and meet a guy named Vance. We don't have enough rep to see his wares, and this ends up in a pointless fight, so I whipped out the cranky spanky time machine and we moved on to the next building. This building was a lot bigger, but there wasn't much in here except for some wandering townsfolk. I noticed the staircase in the back of the building though and decided to check it out. It leads to this underground basement with a locked door. I didn't lockpick the door though, as I wasn't sure if a quest would bring us here later. Don't worry, if not, we will go ahead and return. While passing this building, there was nothing of interest inside, so I made my way into this small shack where we ran into our first visually irradiated friend.
Spare change, old friend, old pal? Can you help a poor mutant down on his luck?
Yeah, here's $25. Good luck to you.
Oh, kind of you, friend. Very kind. You know, if I could clear the gunk out of there, you just might find a tear in old Harold's eye.
Why's that?
Rest of the hubber's been picking on me like a bad booger since I came back to town. I can't leave, though. When the deals are done, it's still my home.
What happened to you?
Well, after the Great War, my vault was one of the first to open. Phew. Long time. All started with the sirens. I was young, but oh, I do remember that. A lot of terrible years followed. And I remember walking out of the vault late one morning.
Where was your vault located?
You know, I'm not real sure anymore. West, I think. Wait, east? Oh, I don't know.
Well, what did you do then?
Well, I was a trader. Did pretty good making a circuit between survivors. Lost a lot of good people, though. Gangers got 'em. Scavengers attacking the caravans, and mutant son of a dog if they weren't springing up like rabbits with a mission. Had to have an army of guards with just to do a deal.
Didn't the guards help?
Of course they helped, you bonehead. Just too damn many to handle.
How did you survive the mutant attacks?
Didn't. Got killed.
Love that joke.
We mounted an expedition. Richard Gray led a small group of us up there.
Okay, so we ask him about Richard Gray, and he tells us that he was a doctor who found the source of where these mutants were coming from. He believed that they came from a military base that sourced the factory that created these super mutants. And unfortunately, a bunch of his crew were lost during their quest there. And by the end of it, we found out that he is a type of mutant, and the way he mutated had something to do with the military base. But that's a story for another day. So after learning about Harold's story, we explore the last building here and get attacked by the people inside. We tried to fight it out, but it ended in our demise.
Your bones are scraped clean by the desolate wind. Your vault will now surely die, as you have.
Being pretty satisfied with our exploration here, we decided to check out the rest of the merchant's market. Upon making our way back, we made our way into the Fargo trader's office, and we see a strong man named Rutger. We ask him if there's any job openings, and since the Crimson Caravan won't be heading out for 6 more days, we need some work to occupy us till then. He tells us if we're looking for work, we need to talk to Butch in the next room, so we headed up and talked to Butch.
What do you want?
Well, I need to ask you a few questions.
Time is money, chit-chat is not money. You hear about the job or what?
Yes.
Hot damn, someone with guts. Done and done. Go talk with my second, Rutger, and get the details.
Are you little?
Okay, so we go back down and we talk to Rutger, and the job they're offering is to find out what's been happening to the missing caravans for 500 hub bucks. They think it's the water merchants or the Brotherhood of Steel or some sort of claws of death. Now, I don't want to spoil it, but I also don't want to waste your time here. I don't end up finishing this quest by the time we leave here, and all that I picked up while asking around was that the water merchants have also had caravans go missing, and that it's the Death Claws that might be involved somehow. But neither Beth nor Harold are clear on that.
Ooh, that thing. Friend, that is Nightmare City. Why the hell are you asking about that? Okay, well, it's like a damn big man is what it is. Got spikes and claws that can cut through the heaviest armor. But don't let the size fool you. It's quick. Well, from what I've heard, maybe whack it in the head. I'd try the eyes. Of course, there's a problem there. You can't look at him. It is said the Death Claw can hypnotize just by looking. Then it walks up and boom, you're it. Good luck to you. You're gonna need it.
So the only other option to scope out is the Brotherhood of Steel. So we'll go ahead and head out with them when we leave for town with the Crimson Caravan. But for now, we'll finally head over to the Maltese Falcon and see what's up with this Decker we heard about earlier. Most of the people in here are gamblers or dealers, but we notice this guy named Kane who is guarding the door. We talk to him and he starts off by commending us for taking out Killian and Gizmo in Junktown, saying, "Now that's the way to solve a problem." Yeah, that's what I was going for. So he asks us what brings us here and wants to know if we're looking for some work. We tell him we'll get back to him after thinking about it. Since the Crimson Caravan isn't leaving for 6 days still, and we had no luck getting paid by the Fargo traders, we decide to see what Decker has to offer. We get back to Kane and tell him we're ready to talk to Decker. But now all of a sudden he's sketched out and asks us who sent us. Well, no one. We came here on our own volition. He then tells us that we will see no one.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Sometimes Fallout is weird like this, but after a speech check, he decides to let us talk to Decker.
So, you're looking for a job. How fortunate. I have one that needs doing. But where are my manners? What's your name?
I'm Bo Dink.
Well, the pleasantries are now concluded. Do you wish to hear about the job?
That's why I'm here.
Background. There's a certain merchant who's, how to phrase this, not cooperating fully with the underground.
And the job?
Quite simple. Hunt down the merchant and his wife and exterminate them.
Well, how much for the job?
It's standard pay. 500 caps to start. Another 2,500 when the job is done. Will you do it?
Well, yeah, color me fired up and send the sparks flying, because this job's got my name written all over it.
Very nice. The merchant lives in the Heights, on Barter Street and Thunder Avenue. Your initial pay will be handed to you on your way out.
On the way out, Kane gives me my initial payment of 500 caps and gives us some tips about our target. We can either go about it quietly and assassinate the target, or we can barge in, but we'll have to deal with everybody who sees us. Being the big-brained wastelander we've been so far, we decided to head over in broad daylight and scope out the scene. We see some guards standing in the street, and they warned us to leave now or we'll regret it, but not caring what they have to say, we check out this northern building and it's empty. So we go to this building and see one of our targets, Mrs. Hightower. I decided to see if I could just get in there by talking to this guard. He asks us if he can help us, in which we say,
Well, I have an appointment with Mr. Hightower, and I'm running very late.
This guy's a guard, mind you, so he's not just gonna fall for some measly, "Oh man, are you in trouble? Mr. H hates when his appointments are late. I'll let him chew you out himself. Go on in." Well, okay. We'll just let ourselves in. After waltzing in, we have to talk to our next obstacle, Leon.
I back it up, is it fat enough? When I throw it back, is it fast enough?
He was in fact not as ignorant as George and kicked us right out. We tried to force our way in and it started in a heated battle, which ended in Ian getting smoked up like Snoop Dogg's blunt, Dogmeat getting gunned down, and I got turned into the honored one. With the work of the Ookie Dookie time machine, we bring Ian and Dogmeat back to life, made our way into Hightower's office, and started dropping everybody there. Without losing a single companion, we took out both the targets along with any witnesses, and finally got a level up. Since I planned to head out to the Brotherhood of Steel, I decided to start leveling up my energy weapons a bit, and I put the rest of the points into speech, small guns, and science. We looted the surrounding area, took some damage from this trap, and found a nice expensive looking necklace. Then we headed back to, well, Rick, who I guess was... who I guess was out here chilling having a stogie while all that went down, shoots at us, making him the last remaining witness. After dealing with all that, Rick was nothing, so we walk towards him like the goddamn Terminator.
It's free real estate.
And rip him to shreds.
Did he at least die painlessly? To shreds, you say?
After that, we loot his body and make our way back to Decker. Kane congratulates us and gives us our hefty pay of 2,500 hub bucks. Adrenaline's still pumping from the last job. I instantly ask for some more work and he takes us to see Decker.
Good day again, my friend. I have another job for you. Are you interested?
Well, sure.
Excellent. You see, the last job I gave you was a test, and you did exceedingly well. Now comes a job of importance.
Which is?
As you may know, the children of the Cathedral have been gaining influence in this town, and frankly, I won't stand for it.
So what do you want me to do?
A small matter. Kill the High Priestess Jane. Once she's gone, this little nuisance will be ended. Interested?
Oh, absolutely.
I believe I'm beginning to like you. The pay is 1,000 up front and 4,000 upon completion. And trust me, I'll know when it's done. Talk to Kane on your way out. He'll provide you with details.
So with that, we head out to take care of our next targets. But right before doing that, we make a pit stop at Jake's Weapons to trade in some loot that we got. I almost sold this necklace that definitely won't be useful later, and we ended up getting an assault rifle and some ammo for it. I just want to point out real quick that I've been sort of downplaying the amount of loot that we've been picking up. We sold a ton of weapons and ammo to get this, and we still had more left over. If you haven't played this game before, don't fret. You get a ton of gear that you can sell for stim packs, ammo, and the such without having to do jobs, but jobs just help out a bunch. Okay, after visiting Jake, we go to the general store to get a good amount of stim packs, almost ended up trading that necklace that most certainly would not be of any use later, and headed down to the Children of the Cathedral. Hello, water merchants. Even though our vault is going drier than the Mojave Desert, we're gonna put you guys on hold for just a bit longer to handle things here. So we head over to the cathedral and see some people lying on the ground, but we're looking for Jane, so we'll ask around here and see where she may be. We meet a medic named Thorndike, a guard who really isn't interesting, and then we make our way over here to talk to who I assume is the High Priestess.
Why do you disturb an elder of the cathedral?
Well, I have come to seek a blessing.
Have you studied the sacraments, child?
Yes?
Then you should know high elders of the cathedral do not just hand out blessings.
Well, that's that, I guess, so we get straight into spraying bullets. I mentioned this in episode 1, but when making this character, I gave myself 9 agility, which gives us 9 action points. Shooting usually costs around around 5 to 6 action points depending on what I'm shooting. I don't know how high or low this number goes, it seems to vary for the action and the weapon, I think, but so far it usually takes between 5 to 6 AP, and accessing my inventory, reloading, moving, and interacting with stuff also costs AP. So what I'm trying to get at here is having 10 agility / action points is really useful for being able to maximize your damage in a turn, or have that extra AP to be able to move. So at this point, these bigger fights have been feeling more stressful, trying to manage keeping both my companions alive and myself alive, while trying not to waste all my stim packs, and barely getting to do damage. To be honest, my companions end up doing most of the work for me, but we persevere and take out everyone in the cathedral. We start looting the place and we come across some Radix. There will be an area later in the game that we'll need this for, and it's the only area I believe in the game that you absolutely need it for, so it's great that we came across some without having to have access to Vance's shop. After doing all that, it dawned on me that the water merchants might have heard what we've done, and might not take kindly to us anymore, which would be absolutely devastating to our quest. So I make my way down there and... they have no qualms, thankfully. So we talk to the master merchant, and hopefully we can finally get a new lead to finding a water chip. So we're straightforward and we just end up asking if they have a water chip. Thankfully they have heard of one, but they say that there isn't one in this town. Fine, I expected as much. And that only a vault or maybe Necropolis would have a use for one. We ask why they think Necropolis would have one, and they inform us that they tried to start a caravan route up there, but they refuse, and nobody in their right mind would refuse unless they have a reliable supply, aka possibly having a water chip. To be honest, that's good enough for me, and they also offer to bring some water up to the vault, which would increase our time limit by 100 days. Sweet, so now we have a crutch to fall on if we get a little bit too close to that doomsday clock that's running out, and it only costs 2,000 caps. Or we could bargain for 1,000 plus a guarantee that our vault would trade them some good items. Since I'm not super rich in caps yet, I'll hold off on extending our time unless we really need it. Plus, what's life without a little motivation to keep you going? With that newfound info, and after taking out Jane and the children of the cathedral, we can make our way back to Decker. On the way back, we run into this sad sack of shit and see if we are experienced enough to help this guy out now. He thinks we have the big balls now, and he tells us that he needs our help to help him with some raiders that took over his home and are now using it as a camp. They also killed his donkey Pugsley. Well, that's just uncalled for, so we mosey on over there and see what's happening, and to be honest, nothing really crazy happened here. We took out the raiders, looted their bodies, and with everyone still standing, we headed back to tell him the good news. He thanks us and gives us a crummy rifle, but hey, we did some horrendous things here, and we need something to balance that out. And since it's nighttime, we decided to wait till day and... wait, what in the actual rootin' tootin' heck is going on here? When I entered the town, it was January 11th. I know this because I counted that we had 6 days to head out with the Crimson Caravan on January 17th. And with that, we had 113 days left. Now, after helping out this goober, my calendar says it's February 7th, and we have 111 days left to find the chip. Even Carrie says that we are early and that they will be heading out on February 17th. Okay, so excuse me if I'm wrong, but it took almost a month to help this guy out, but we only lost 2 days according to our Pip-Boy, and even though we technically missed 2 caravan trips over that month, Carrie claims we're early, doesn't even recognize that we bailed on her, and claims now that we have to wait 10 days instead of the original 6 to head out after losing 2 days on the clock, doubling the amount of days that we would have had to wait to head out with the caravan. Man, I need to lay off using this gloopy glorpy time machine because it is making me lose my mind. So after being bam frickin' boozled, we can make our way to Decker and turn in our quest.
You're ruthless, an attribute I admire. Kane will give you your payment. I hope you're available in the future.
Sadly, he doesn't have any more work for us, but he gained our respect and hopes to work with us in the future. With our newfound fortune, we can make our way back to Jake's Weapons to pick up that sick combat shotgun we saw earlier. I sold a fart ton of stuff, including this necklace that I'm absolutely positively 100% sure will not be needed in the near future. And we got our hands on this sweet, sweet piece. After that, we head over to the Crimson Caravan and take out what a cosmic purple cat wouldn't even consider a wink asleep, and get ready to head out to the Brotherhood of Steel. But before we do that, we have one more loose end to tie up. Decker mentioned a group called the Thieves Guild, and I'm pretty sure I have a good idea where they might be. So after heading down to Iguana Bob's and shaking him down for our caps, we headed back into the east part of the hub and tried to take these guys on real quick, who I'm still not sure who they are associated with, and unfortunately, we get cooked. So we head back into this building and back to the stairs that we went down earlier, and we go ahead and lockpick the door into this hideout. After we enter, we step on this trap, which causes us no harm, and now we have to decide between two doors. We ultimately choose the door on the left, and we take another hit. And after that, we just have to unlock this final door before we meet the people inside. After making our way inside, we make our way to Locksley, the leader of the Thieves Guild.
Bloody fine job making it through the defenses, mate. I'm rather impressed. Toss me your name.
I'm Bo Dink.
Quite pleased to make your acquaintance, actually. For now. Let's get the other bit of politeness taken care of, shall we? What the bloody hell are you doing here?
Well, I want to join the circle.
Oh, how nice. A joiner. Well, you've worked hard enough for a look-see, but if you really want to join, then you'll have to take the second test.
What's that?
Quite simple, really. You prove yourself as a thief, succeed, and the world is yours. If not, then you'll never see us again. Except if you come looking. And if you don't understand, that last bit is a threat.
What's the test?
It's so simple. In the Heights, you'll find Darren Hightower's home all plump and ripe for the picking. Are you ready for life? Do you accept the challenge?
I'm ready.
That's the spirit, mate. Just talk to Jasmine in the room outside this chamber. She'll give you details, a map, and a few little goodies to help you on your way. But remember, if you even think about ratting us out to the cops, we'll be a memory before they arrive. But enough gloom. Cheerio, good luck, and ta-ta.
We go and talk to Jasmine, and she gives us the details about our mission. The mission is to steal a necklace from the Hightower estate. She gives us some tools and some info that would make stealing the necklace easier. We also need to try not to kill Mr. Eyewater. Well, we already took care of him, so we're just not gonna mention that. And we're gonna have to cross our fingers that we can buy the necklace back. Thankfully, Jake still had the necklace, so we were able to trade it back, and he charged me over double for what he paid for it, but I'll gain some rep with the new faction here in town, so it's worth the buyback. We head back to Locksley and give him the necklace.
Haha, well done! Congratulations! You're now a member of the world-famous Thieves Circle. Let's get Jasmine over here and throw a topper, shall we?
And before collecting our reward, we got another level up. I chose the empathy perk so we can have a little more guidance and hopefully stay out of unnecessary trouble in the future. And after that, we put some more points into our energy weapons, and the rest we put into speech, barter, and small guns. We talked to Jasmine and got 3,000 bucks and some electronic lockpicks. Good thing we checked out this place before leaving. So yeah, that's it. After exploring the merchant market, handling Decker's business, purging the children of the Cathedral, joining the Thieves Guild, and tracking down a new water chip lead, we can finally join up with the Crimson Caravan, and in the next episode, we'll be heading out to the Brotherhood of Steel. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. Since releasing the last video, we've gone from 115 subscribers to 136. I appreciate those of you who have joined very much, and if you haven't yet, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss when I drop a new video. Also, don't forget to like and comment down below what you thought of the video, and consider spreading the word if you guys did enjoy. Lastly, I'll try to get videos out a little more often, as I'm a little ahead right now and have the next 2 parts recorded, so I'll try to have the next part out by next Friday. Let's see if we can hit 150 subs before the next video drops. Alright, well with that said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one.